Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and welcome to the first Sunday of the month tour that I do each month in the summer months. Well, summer and autumn months. It's quite unusual in September because actually the first Sunday falls on the 7th, so it's quite late in the month to be doing a garden tour. But anyway, we're going to have a walk around and see what's happening, see what's of interest to people, see what fruits might be approaching ripeness and which plants might be going into dormancy. So I thought I'd start with the medlar. These are developing quite nicely. There aren't that many left on the tree. It's fallen foul of the dry weather. We've had some very hot dry weather, obviously we had in July and August, and although I watered the pots, I didn't water them religiously, and we've obviously lost quite a lot of the fruits. I've lost some fruits to animals eating them and the wind blowing them off, so we've still got a few left on the tree, but I'm not sure if there'll be enough to even make a jar of jelly, but I guess we'll see what happens. They're not really a fruit that you want to eat out of hand, but nevertheless it's nice to at least see it's nice to see some fruits on it, which is better than none. So I'm moving on. We'll have a look here at the how the pineapple guavas are doing. This one is Mammoth. Doesn't seem to be losing any fruits off it. They're coming on nicely. Slowed down a little bit, I suspect, because of all the dry weather that we had again in August, when I was hoping they'd swell a bit quicker, because they did flower earlier this year, so the fruits aren't as big as I was expecting, but nevertheless they're still not a bad size, and they've got about 2 months growing ahead of them. So as long as we get a reasonable September and October and get enough rain, then there's every likelihood that they'll get to a decent size, decent edible size. I don't think we're going to be setting any records this year, but that remains to be seen. So that's the Mammoth. Blueberries got no fruits left on it now, and that'll be going dormant soon, and we'll get some lovely autumn colours. The other pineapple guava, the one I put in ground this summer, Apollo rather, it's got a couple of fruits on it. They're small. I've got an outside hope or chance that they'll get to a size where they're going to ripen, but they're not going to be anything giant. And Apollo's actually meant to produce large fruits, but of course it only went in the ground this year, which hasn't helped at all. You've seen how my pomegranate's progressing, not looking too bad. Hoping that we're going to get something approaching an edible size. That one I've got in a bag. This one up here I haven't got in a bag, tucked away. It's still got the odd flower appearing on it. Don't need me to set now. I mean, it wouldn't set anyway, but I don't want them to set because, you know, the plant will be starting to go into dormancy. You can see that some of these leaves are yellowing, and the problem with leaves yellowing is it means the plant's starting to go to sleep, and if it's starting to go to sleep, it won't put energy into fruits. That one's got a bit of a blush to it because it's at the top of the tree, not because it's necessarily ripening. Still got a few flowers on my Caesalpinia and some seed pods, and you probably won't be able to see up at the top there, but there are still a load of flowers on my Campsis, which has put on a lovely display on the fence. Moving on to the Triumph pineapple guava. Fruit development again is progressing slowly on it, probably because we've had such a dry summer. The growth hasn't been what I expected, and it's shed quite a few fruits, but I would think there's probably tucked away here a good dozen fruits still developing, if you can see with the sun shining on them. Next to it is my in-ground pawpaw, also starting to look as if it's going into hibernation, and there'll be a separate video on that. It's got one fruit there and another bunch of fruits up there which are progressing quite nicely, which you may just about better see. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit for you. I think there's 3 or 4 fruits in that bunch. and they were self-pollinated because it was too high up for me to reach them, but it's had very little self-pollination on it. And when I say self-pollination, what I mean is I didn't hand pollinate them. It would have got pollen probably from the other pawpaw I've got in the garden. Moving on, Chilean guavas have got some fruits on them. Not a large quantity I was expecting because they shed most of the fruits in the dry weather. A little bit less fruit shed on the other one. That's my Villarica strawberry. You might better see with the sun shining into the lens, but there's quite a lot of flowers still on my Passiflora incarnata, so I'm pleased to see those. A couple of very small fruits on them trying to develop, but I just don't think there's going to be enough time, because I reckon I need about 2 months, and I think the weather will be too cold and the plant will start dying off at the end of September. I'm going to walk through here anyway, so you can see what's what. I think we'll better see a few flowers. My Caerulea is absolutely smothered in flowers now, loads and loads of flowers, and obviously the idea was for that to cross-pollinate the incarnata or maypop, and they're a little bit out of control, to be honest. In-ground cherry guava flowered well this year, first time. 0 fruit set on it, as I said in another standalone video I made on it. I think it's a duffer. I think it's not got fertile flowers on it, but maybe it'll fool me in the future if it survives winter. Quick look here at the Gemini, and this has probably got the largest fruits on it at the moment. Maybe it's in a better position, or maybe it's got more water, but I mean, look at that. That's a really good size fruit developing there. I mean, that's really good for early in September, so quite hopeful I'm going to get some decent fruits off the Gemini this year, which is a little bit thinner skins than some of the other pineapple guavas, so it makes it quite pleasant to eat, and you can eat the skin on this one. But that fruit looks like it's going to get to a good size if something doesn't happen to it. I might bag it to stop any pests, insects, flies or birds having a peck. Moving around the back here, I want to show you how my in-ground white sapote is growing. That's put on some pretty substantial growth. Pleased with that. Tucked right round the back, if I can get to it, is my very sickly in-ground avocado. I don't expect that to form any roots and survive. Unfortunately, had root issues with it when I got it. It's one of those things. Quick look at the Asian pears. Oh dear, this one's bent over double with the weight of the fruit. It's probably going to snap, but I think I'll just have to leave it. There's not much I can do about it at the moment. Some of the others look as if the fruits will be getting to ripen soon, but they're small. I should have thinned the fruits, but I didn't. So that's life at the end of the day. This one here is the Shinziki. This one here is a Kumoy, has a much more goldy coloured fruit. I'll show you the one that's not in a bag. I haven't bagged all the fruits, but we'd wait and see what happened with them. But pleased to see how they're progressing. So let's walk back around here if we can, preferably without knocking the white sapote. Oh, not easy. Jujube doing surprisingly well. No fruit set whatever on the Lang, but the Lee, these are the size of very large cherries now. Most of them are turning yellow and falling off. These, it's shedding the ones that aren't going to make it, but I think that some of these larger ones may actually prove to be edible. We'll wait and see. But not a single fruit set on the Lang for whatever reason. Don't know if you'll be able to see over the back here, but I've got my Szechuan pepper. Looks like they're ripening. Don't know if I'm going to bother harvesting them this year. I don't need any Szechuan peppers at the moment. I'm really more growing it for the interest, but one day I probably will. And that's my potted bacon avocado seedling, looking a bit the worse for wear. It's very pot bound and it's got no nutrients, so I really should be replanting it, but it doesn't look as I'm going to get round to it this year. And next one is to look at is the carob in a pot. It's doing nicely. I think they normally flower in the autumn. I'm not. The first year I got it, it had a few flowers on it. It's never flowered since, and of course it did get killed back to the ground by the Arctic freeze we had in December 22, a very cold winter. And it's possible it may have been a grafted plant, although I never saw any sign of a graft on it. But whatever happens, it hasn't fruited since, or sorry, hasn't flowered since. But you never know, maybe it will produce a few flowers on it this autumn. We'll wait and see. Moving on briefly, Paw getting close to being ready at the back, early in September. That's the Prima there, you can just about see in the distance. Didn't get any fruit on the Pennsylvania Golden this year. Not much to report on the persimmons. I'll do standalone videos on those. All looking quite healthy. I have got some fruit set on them, so I'm trying to keep this video a little bit briefer than normal. I think that's Russian Beauty, that fruit there, and it looks like it's starting to get some colour to it. That's also known as Rossianka, if it is the Russian Beauty. I will check the label later. This is one of my potted strawberry guavas. It's doing nicely. Can't remember if that's a yellow or a red one. Fruit's a good size for outdoors, obviously. It's growing in pots. It will be going into shelter in winter. My persimmon Hyachia. Not many fruits left now. It's dropped most of them, but nevertheless. It's got a few left, so I think we're going to get a few ripe fruits. And my Hirotananashi got one fruit on it, which is under here. Don't think it'll knock it off if I lift up the leaf. So that's looking okay. Carrying on, looking at my loquats or loquats. First one here. Can't remember if that's the Mrs. Cook's. I'll see if I can reach a label while I hold the camera away. First one is the Oliver. No sign of anything interesting happening on that one. However, the Mrs. Cookson has got flower buds developing. Look. And that's nice and early, being early in September. Now there's a possibility, I did think I said this last year and it didn't work out to be the case, but there's a possibility that those flowers will open in October, which means a better chance of pollination. The only downside, if I haven't got any on the Oliver, then I haven't got any flowers available for cross-pollination. But it's nice to see it trying to put out flowers a bit earlier. Of course, as soon as the weather gets cold, that will slow it down. Looking here at my pineapple guava behind here. This one is unique, has got some fruits on it. Yeah, they're still developing. It hasn't got a lot of fruits on it, but it's had a few fruits set, so I think there's a good chance we'll get a few decent edible fruits on that. Again, I don't think the dry weather's helped them develop. I've got another cherry guava or strawberry guava in a pot here, which has got a handful of fruits on it. Not doing too badly. My Che's doing well. You probably won't be able to see, there's a few fruits on my kiwi berry Isai. They're very small. It's really suffered with the lack of rain, unfortunately. That's really messed things up this year. I did water it a bit, but not enough, and the fruits are extremely stunted, so don't think we're going to get any edible fruits. Really could do with a wetter summer, but c'est la vie. Not much else to show really. All the other plants are sort of in leaf but haven't got any fruits on them. Seedling lotus persimmon here, I'm going to use that as a root stock. My red gold peach, nectarine, that produced one fruit for me that was just about edible. And of course my in-ground fig, which has pretty much dropped every single main crop fig off it, probably 95%. I reckon there's maybe a dozen fruits that are still looking green and may hold and develop. And just finally, raisin tree is going into dormancy now. That's Havinia dulcis. So that's the September garden tour. Not an awful lot to show, but still interesting. Most of the plants looking healthy. Some are showing signs of early dormancy. probably because of all the dry weather we had, and of course the temperatures dropped considerably in September. But it is autumn, so what do you expect? But hopefully at least we'll get some good pineapple guavas this year, and I'll obviously be featuring those in videos over the next month or two, see how they develop, see what size they get to. So thanks for watching the video, hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video if you think anybody would like to see it. Please do subscribe to my channel and click on the bell if you'd like to know when new videos come out, and I'll see you in the next monthly garden tour at the beginning of October. See you all soon. Brett out for now.